Here back on the air with Automation Airwaves with Agilify, and today I've got Jason Salmai from VP with us.
Yep.
Thank you for joining.
Absolutely.
I got a couple questions I'm going to pose to you, and I'm curious to see what your response is. So, what are some of the technology challenges that customers are facing when they come to VP for help?
Yeah, absolutely. So I think some of the biggest challenges that customers are facing from a technology perspective are the applications and processes that they're currently doing in their enterprise. They have some sort of generic view of what's going on, but they don't have a deep understanding of the individual steps that are being taken in this process. So, the executives, the directors understand the processes are going on, but they can't actually see what's going on a day-to-day basis with their staff, with the people working on these. So, having Blue Prism and having an interface that mimics a Visio interface allows them to build a map, a step-by-step map of what's actually going on in their day-to-day lives. So not only does it help from a compliance standpoint where they can see what is this process, how can we re-engineer this process, and so on, but then they can build that process map to meet whatever the compliance needs are, to meet that specific process without having the variability that occurs by having staff that get comfortable, that just want to do something quicker without meeting their compliance needs. So not only does it give you that Visio style interface, but then it becomes comfortable for their employees, for their business users that may not have development background, may not have coding background, but can still leverage the platform and the power of Blue Prism to really build out their own automations and look at digital transformation.
Yeah, and that really layers on top of the whole citizen developer concept behind Blue Prism. It's really easy for our normal associate to engage because they have the right background and understanding of the tool. Absolutely. There's also that reusability component. As we explore and work this into our ecosystem, the reusability comes into play, and people can learn from each other. There's a collaboration piece involved as well.
Absolutely. I think the biggest misunderstanding in the market is that RPA is this easy platform that you do something, you record something, and it's done. You've got a scalable, reusable process, and that's really not what we see and what Agilify sees. Customers need to understand that this is a transformation of how business is done. And by having an object-oriented approach with Blue Prism, you're planning for scaling, you're planning for resiliency. You're not just thinking about how to automate a quick, simple task. You're thinking, these applications that are inside my enterprise, more than one group may be using them, more than one process is using them. How can I design an object, an automation for success? So as I continue, I can scale, I can reuse these, I can build resilient objects, and that becomes a core component of succeeding with automation versus stalling in automation.
Right, and definitely doing that up front is a key component. So, talking about how they interact with BP from that standpoint, what are some of the challenges that you see from your position that are non-technical related? We always talk about proof of concepts and the tool, and we've kind of talked about that here, but outside of that, there are a lot of components that we need to talk through with our clients for them to be successful over the entire journey of automation. So, what are some of those challenges?
I think the biggest challenge that we see on a customer-by-customer basis is that generally, there's this new buzzword of RPA and automation, and customers are extremely excited, and they can think of a couple processes that are prime, right? They're manual, they're data entry, it's using Excel, it's using these applications, and they automate these processes, and now they're stuck, right? They didn't come in with a strategy. They just came in with the idea of, I know we can automate, I've got some ideas, and there's no process pipeline that they've been developing. So once these are done, 3 months, 6 months down the road, now I've got nothing else to do. I don't know what to do. I don't know what's good for automation. Right. So by having automation strategy, by building that up front, you're constantly putting processes into your pipeline so that you know what's next once you've developed your processes, once you've put these into automation. So you're not stalling. You're not saying, okay, well, we've spent all of our effort on these couple and we can't really think about where to go, and we haven't talked to our different business groups, we haven't talked to IT. Having that automation strategy up front, having the idea that, again, this isn't a simple kind of record and play, this is a transformation of work, allows you to really think about a year down the road, 2 years down the road, where can we be with automation? Where can we be with our digital transformation so that we're staying ahead of the curve? We're not stalling at these simple roadblocks that Agilify and Blue Prism understand.
Right, and if you take and you layer the top the fact that Blue Prism is business-led, it features right into those skill sets, right? We have to enable our businesses to actually be able to provide that pipeline, that process harvesting, and then of course the effective back.
Exactly right. And having Agilify be able to understand how an organization works, how a vertical works, really feeds into that, because the experience that you guys develop over these years of working with your customers allows you to reuse not only the Blue Prism components, but that use case component of what's good for automation, what's going to work, and what may potentially seem good in the beginning, but then also not work. And another key component of that is customers think, hey, I've got a process, I can just throw it into automation. But they don't think about, is this a good process? How we're doing it today, is it good? Do we have redundant things that we're doing, or things that wouldn't make sense for having a digital worker do? So re-engineering that process as well comes into that automation strategy of don't just put something, don't take a bad process and automate it, make it a good process and then put it into automation.
Agreed, 100%. Thank you for your time today. I appreciate it.
Absolutely. Thanks so much, Ken. Appreciate it.